And we call ourselves, we sometimes people call, because I am not against Hindu religion alone, because even Christianity practices untouchability. We have separate entrances in churches. There are churches closed, for entry to Dalits. Example, Madarandagam Tachur. And there are bishops, any number of bishops from other communities. And from the Dalit community, hardly any bishop comes, irrespective of any sect, whether it is Catholics or Protestant or whatever it is. So now people are turning into Seventh-day Adventism, because where there is no property, no nothing, they, under the thatched shed, they are expressing themselves. The only freedom they get is in a very small area. They express themselves. They vent out their feelings. That's all we have. So it is high time we start questioning our beliefs, first of all, whether a religion which is not advocating universal love or brotherhood, how can it be a base? So Dalit state is something which talks about positive brotherhood, no tenant, no landlord, no landless laborer. This is Ambedkar's statement. He is imagining an economic system where no tenant, no landlord, no landless laborer. Only people who are dependent on agriculture should have land. And we need to deliberate on this, what kind of a land use we are going to have, and who should have land, who should not have land. Because, for example, IT professional who is settled abroad, he has agricultural land in Tamil Nadu, what will he do with it? He is an easy prey to a multinational who is willing to buy his land. So globalization, new liberalism has not, in a positive sense, it has not helped us because of our current position status, where it is very discriminative, very exploitative. So if there is exploitation, it will add to more exploitation. If it is not, the same globalization has helped people for employment in some areas. Maybe developed countries it is helpful, where a commoner can bargain his wage, because if he is already paying average salary of 80,000 rupees per month, for example Japan, the globalization cannot reduce the wage further. It may not increase the wage, but it cannot reduce the wage. But here, the wage is so poor, even if you increase it, it will not help us. So globalization, if the land is with the people who are not going to use it, and he is willing to sell it, and globalization is an expeditious process where all the lands are usurped. So there are a lot of things that we need to discuss about it. But one positive thing is, how do we create people's will, a common will? Unless until we have a hope, we cannot proceed further. So Ambedkar says, whatever may be, because I may be fighting the caste Hindus tooth and nail, and I love this country for and foremost, because it is the country of our ancestors. It is the country where we born and grow, and it is our ardent duty to improve it. Therefore, we need to have hope. We need to have hope in others also, because the postmodern concept is by dialogues. We keep on talking. Of course, it takes a longer time, but it really creates change. In my case, I just want to narrate 2 examples and stop with that. One is, when I started the Dalit land right movement, we had mobilized first about 3,000 people for a conference after campaigning in about 100 villages in and around Tiruvannamala, where the people already, land has been displaced, and Kanchipuram district, and to an extent Vellore district. So we mobilized 3,000 people. We created the talk, land for the landless, minimum 5 acres of dry land, or if it is a wetland, it is 2.5 acres. we called Thirumavalavan because my voice was not so, powerful. I needed power, so we called Thirumavalavan. So the minute I called Thirumavalavan, I was called by my chief secretary over phone. What are you doing? I say. Said, I asked her back, what am I doing? Said, you are organizing, you are attending a conference. Oh, the information has gone wrongly. I was organizing, but she was given to understand that I was attending it. So to that extent I was happy. So I said, don't attend that. I said, okay. And I went ahead organizing that. I was kept under compulsory wait. So this is only to give spice to the, the topic that I'm going to say. The real thing is, after that, we worked out a strategy, how to involve more and more people to talk about it. So we didn't first talk about land for Dalits. Of course, if land comes, the top priority is given to the Dalits as per records at least. So implementation is another level. Policy making is one level, implementation is another level. So first policy level we were trying. So we were trying to involve as many people as possible. We first collected about 1 lakh of people in about 13 districts. On a single day, each of them will go to the collectorate, 10,000 each, all the district, they will go to the collector and submit a petition. So, because we wanted to reach the chief minister, because somebody is in all the 13 districts simultaneously, suddenly people are coming and giving a request for land, and they have to write on their own, because I wanted to involve them in the process of you write it in your hand and sign it, and you will hold this paper tight, because people, the CIT and the IB will come and ask, they mingle with the crowd. So, how did you come? Who arranged your bus? So they will say that Sivakami has arranged the bus. What have you come? I do not know. They call me, I have come. So gone. So, because the government will not take that seriously. So we have to be really, make the governments, that our effort is very serious, understand that we are very serious about it. So all the people, they came on their own. Probably if you calculate, each of the people had spent 100 rupees. So 1 lakh people, 100 rupees. How much money has been spent on this unnecessarily? That is another thing. We are spending our money, hard-earned money, for such a request which is not even materializing. But anyway, we need to involve. So secondly, that was not sufficient, because some people found it difficult to reach the collectorate. We organized at the taluk level. So taluk level, each taluk we gave a target of 5,000. We had organizers only in 68 taluks of Tamil Nadu. And then they presented about 2,50,000 petitions on a single day. So this got noticed. All the papers wrote about it. In Karur alone, 20,000 petitions. They really, took it seriously, and 5,000 target, 20,000 people in 4 different taluks. So government did notice, and subsequently it became the manifesto of DMK party. They announced 2-acre land for the Dalits. Don't you think it's good? So we were, by talking about it unanimously, simultaneously, from different places, but a single agenda. So the problem with us is we diversify ourselves. We try to address all sorts of problems at one go, and our interests are varied. So maybe if we have a single-minded approach and we plan it well, really we can achieve to that extent. But when the land was given, it was not given to the petitioners. Somebody else got it. So there we need to be in government. That's what political power is, the ultimate power. To distribution, because for making policy change, we need not be in power. We can talk about it and create policies. But when it is delivered, we need to be present there. In the district, probably as a district secretary of a party or a minister somewhere. So we need power. So another incident where I wanted to say about the women's movement. Again, with the non-Dalit we joined, and since I was in the service, and a lot of NGO movement working again means in favor of women. So we could get together, but as a party probably I have my own doubt whether they would join me. But they were supporting. So in G Corner in Trichy, about 3 lakh women we assembled, under the title Women and Politics. So, and we were talking, we need to start a political party for women. So this gave jitters to all the political parties. Subsequently, 40 years of history, there was no talk on land, we made them to talk. Of course, the deliverance did not take place. Subsequently, we created a debate on women and politics. Immediately, that month, we organized in 2008, February 23rd, and in the month of May, Kadalur, Karunanidhi organized a meeting of women for the first time, and Kanimozhi was introduced. All his family members, they spoke. It was a very mega conference. Maybe we organized 3 lakhs, probably theirs was 4 or 5. And subsequently, Jayalalitha introduced Young Women Pasarai, that is camp, Young Women Camp in her own political party, because she could not imitate Karunanidhi, because he had done it first, so she could not imitate. So she introduced Young Women Camps in her party. And Vijay organized a meeting in Trichy. These people were 10 years older than us, and DMK is 40 years older than us, maybe 30 years older than us, but never they did anything. But when we did it, they were so scared, and because we are going to start a party for women, so they tried to accommodate women. So this mobilizations take place very subtle, differently, not to our expectation, but it happens. But if only we are organized, if only we talk about it, if only we are serious, we can still make a change in the existing state apparatus to change it to a better Dalit state apparatus. Thank you very much. And my special thanks to Keshav Kumar.
Thank you, madam, for sharing your personal experiences with us, how to transform a state into a really an egalitarian state. Since some of the delegates have to leave by 2:30 to catch their flights, there is no other option left for me. I request the rest of the speakers to restrain their speeches only for 2 minutes, not more than 2 minutes. Now I request Professor Aloysius to give his remarks, reflections.